Hey guys, this video is a hot mess. And the reason being is I hadn't actually performed the modification that I'm going to show you on the hybrid because I've always been using these mil-sig mags, which are round ball only. So I falsely stated that a T15 follower must be used. Now, that's the case with these magazines because the original follower, let me dig it out here quick. The original follower and winder that come with this particular magazine, this thing comes flying through the feed head no problem whatsoever. So that was the whole reasoning I went to the T15 follower, because it is a little bit fatter. You wouldn't probably be able to see it on camera. It maybe just be the profile, whatever the case may be. This one doesn't go through the feed head in this particular magazine. So in my usual fashion, I assumed that it wasn't gonna, it would be required for this hybrid magazine as well. And as it turns out, that's not the case, at least not in the bench testing. So if you see this video through to the end, you'll see this follower works perfectly fine. Now, do I like the way it is situated on the spring? That's to be debated. But if it works, I don't see why not. So pay attention to that when I show the bench test at the end and how these two kind of meet together on the mag spring. Hey guys, so this video has been a long time coming. I know some people keep bugging me, and I'm getting a chance today to catch up on some of the things, so here it goes. This is how I have solved my feeding problems with my M17 magazine. This isn't the end-all be-all. It works for me. And if there's something better, you guys, show me. Tell me. Let me know in the comments. And I know there are some out there that are running printed followers and such, and while I'm guessing they work, I don't have a printer or the skills to do so. So I always try and make do with off-the-shelf parts, not just for myself, but for the viewers as well, because, you know, many of you are much like me and maybe have limited tools. And it's nice when you can rework something with hand tools or the like, and it does what you want it to do. So we'll start from, this is just a standard M17 hybrid mag. With the winder intact, this is how you get it out of the box. So this is what I do to remedy the issue. The number one issue is this winder. The winder causes a lot of feed problems for us LL guys because this cable in here entangles itself and breaks, which I already mentioned. And the main cause for that is we should be winding these mags as we load them. It's been preached before. You wind, load, wind, load. And the reason for winding and loading is if you just push your projectiles in one after another, you're not actually coiling up this cable inside. And you'll see it when I open it up. And that cable tends to move around. It gets on one side of the spring, entangles it. And then what happens is when spring tries to release all the way and do its job, it can't because the cable's holding it back. Number one thing is get rid of this winder. And if you are familiar with the G-Mag, I actually don't have one laying around here. They're the short little 10 rounders. They don't have a winder. And as you know, they don't have nearly the problems that you do with this particular magazine. First thing I'm gonna do is open this mag up. So what size is this? I'm using a 3mm Allen key. Probably got one. It came with your M17. I think this is pretty standard on the marker itself. It is metric. Use metric keys, guys. So it's nutted on the back, so just be mindful. The nut's gonna fall out. And once you get to this point, just split it open. Now, I should mention, if you were doing this, if you were trying to keep this spring intact and you're just servicing this mag, I recommend winding the follower up because you're gonna see what happens here when I open this. It's gonna go boing, but I really don't care because I'm getting rid of the winder. So there you go. This is what it looks like inside when you split the case. First thing I do, I remove this actual winding device here. Oh, and it's been a while since I actually did this. So to completely remove it, there's a little, I should have done this first, guys. You can see here, there's this little circular retention. And what you need to do is, hopefully try and get it in the light here. I just use a pick. And see how that popped up like that? That little circular device there? It just holds your spring. It sort of keeps the cable in the groove. So pull it out. There it is there. Set it aside. I do reinstall it. So at this point now you can remove the entire winding mechanism. And I just realized I don't have wire cutters. I don't have wire cutters with me, so hang on a sec. Wire cutters, check. There's one other thing I should have mentioned before you go and cut your cable. This is your standard M17 follower. See, it's shaped sort of like a shaped projectile would be. I replace it with a T15 follower. So T15 follower is round. And it comes in two manners. So there's two versions. One, I think one's an older version. The newer one comes with the retention string attached. And I think the older one just comes like this, where you actually have to feed it through, tie a knot. But they are the same follower, so whichever one you end up with, depends on where you get it from. What I do is I just cut this cable. Now, you can save this follower. Yeah, I'll get that out after. Obviously, you are gonna reuse your mag spring here. So we're just gonna lay that across. This winder now is, well, I mean, so here's the thing. You could reuse it if you actually pushed the cable up through the follower. You could cut it, and if you didn't like the way this worked, you could retie it and reuse it. But yeah, for what I'm doing, it's just garbage. So the follower maybe want to keep for future use. You know what? I never throw anything out because somehow I find a way to repurpose it. And here's the reason I use the T15 follower. So this is the feed head for the M17 hybrid. It's going to be difficult for me to show you. Well, here we go. See that? This follower, I could push it through. I could push this round through here. It takes a little bit of force, and it's actually going to split the head a little bit to get through there. This prevents your follower from coming out the top. So it'll almost always stop. And you know what? I just noticed something while I'm doing this video. With the hybrid head, not only, so it actually goes through here quite easily through the neck, but doesn't pass through the bar stock. But on my Milsig round heads, it won't actually pass through the bottom of the neck because it's round. So I actually may be able to hold 19 rounds in this. So I'll have to just try that once I fit it all together here. And for those of you that are wondering when you see me running this magazine, this is an old Milsig magazine. You can still buy these shells. Last I checked at Rockstar Tactical. But there is the issue. See, this has got a round neck, and these have the shaped head. I call them square heads, even though they're both technically square, but it's this area that actually feeds into, or that retains in the mag, that's round. So that is the reason why you can't use these ones in here. They just don't go. Now, I did do a modification to a square head to fit in this round one, and it does work, but I actually had one, so you can see the mod that I made to fit this into the old Milsig mag. It interlocked fine, but it actually cracked here. You can see, I mean, I've cut this, so it doesn't take much force if you drop this or maybe slam it in your marker too hard to crack that. And then, yeah, then you're out. So I'm hoping they're going to remake these. I mean, if I can buy the shells, why can't I buy the heads, right? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, back to the Milsig mag here. Or sorry, the Valken mag. All right, so you cut your spring. What you need to do is put your that little tab. I just put it back in case I ever wanted to revert back to stock for whatever reason. You can do so. This is kind of the tricky part. Oh, you know what else? You don't need that either. That was part of the winder. It's still in here. And also, actually, these pins aren't necessary. You can take them out. I just leave them in, but because you're trying to save a few grams of weight or something. Got your 2 mag shells. Now's a good time. Wipe these channels clean. Maybe put a dab of oil in your finger. It's always good. And just smear it through here. Here's what I do. I set my spring in like this, pretty easy. I put the 2 halves together. And you can see here, this follower, sorry, my dog is trying to bark there, actually fits inside here quite well. You just got to kind of pinch the head down a little, pinch the head of the spring down a little bit, but you can get it to interlock like that. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just needs to stay in place while you're reassembling your mag. So, oops. Trying to do this on camera is a little more difficult. So you kind of squish it all down together like this. Just get your follower just in the head like that. Grab your feed head. And it just kind of, you can let the follower go once you get kind of half the side in there, without opening your mag too far that you release all the spring down in the bottom, like that. Put your screws back in. Don't forget your nut on the back here. One more. That's it, you're done. All right, well, I hope that helps you guys. Got any questions, comments? Write them in there. Well, yeah, I guess I gotta try this. So, I'll load up some Canada Riot balls here. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm running these old Milsig mags, and because of the shape of the neck here, this modification only allows, even though I can get 19 in, 2 stay trapped in here, so I only get 17 rounds. So it's the first time I actually made this modification to the Valken hybrid mag. So let's see, will it hold 19 and spit 19? 1, 2. 17, 18. Looks like they're all gonna fit. That's 19 in there. Now hopefully this doesn't go flying everywhere. I'm gonna kind of try and let the balls out, but I don't want the follower to slam. Well, you know, what kind of test would it be if it didn't slam? Let me just put a rag up here when they don't go everywhere. So you saw I didn't have to wind that, I just plopped them all in there. And there you have it. Follower didn't come out. Okay, it wouldn't be complete if I didn't test the winder delete with the standard hybrid follower, M17 follower. So we'll load up 19 rounds and we'll see if she'll spit them. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 18, 19. Wait a minute. Can I count to 20? What the hell? No, that's definitely 19 there. So I can count to 19. There are 19 rounds in there. Yay! All right. Let's see. Will the follower come shooting out? Nope, it didn't. So, I don't know, I guess I consider that a pass. So, I'm gonna have to run that follower to see if the T15 follower is even required for the hybrids. Now, it is required for this mag because this is a round ball only mag. This shoots shape projectiles. But, well, I want to just show a little more in depth why I choose the T15 follower. Show it in a little more detail, just so you guys get kind of my perspective here. So, you can see here, so if you use the standard Milsig hybrid follower, I don't know if you can see there, the shape on the bottom of this, sort of the recess is a lot smaller, and it's very shallow. So I could probably pinch this end of this spring here a little and get it in there. See if I can do that here. Well, no, I don't think I'll be able to do it by hand. But so there's nothing really hanging onto this. It's just floating in the mag. But bench test shows it works. So this is a T15 V2 magazine follower. And see how deep this channel is around it. The pocket, the spring, there we go. There's the word I'm looking for, spring pocket. So this spring fits really good in there. Oops, just got to get it started, but this one requires much less effort to get it inside there. Like that. And then I just kind of bunch it up and push it together. It's almost flat in there. Well, I'm not doing a very good job here of showing you guys. Oh, there we go. Just had to get a little twist. So you can see now, well, it just popped out. And here's the thing. So when this is in the actual channel, it doesn't have the kind of deflection it has outside here. But you can see there, now that spring is right flat in the top of this follower. So there's actually something hanging onto it. I feel more comfortable like that than having this floating in the magazine, but I'm gonna have to run this through. I have to run this through with the hybrid and see if it works, if it holds up. This has held up in this magazine. So if this doesn't, then I will try this in my hybrid as well. But fair warning, guys, you know, cutting your winder spring is sort of permanent. I did show you, you could push the wire up and just nip the knot off and you could retie it. So keep that in mind. Don't want to be responsible for anybody ruining their magazines.